Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making semi-bad decisions while talking about imposter syndrome. I thought it would be super ironic and super edgy and cool if I dyed my hair while talking about imposter syndrome. So first and foremost, my hair looks like crap because I did wash it and not condition it, and you're not supposed to brush curly hair when it's dry, so that could be the reason it looks like actual crap. But I figured once I let it air dry, so it's been drying for like hours and hours and days. So this is what my hair looks like when I don't have any product in it and I brush it. In other words, crazy. Anyways, so I'm going to be primarily looking at myself, which is going to make it look like I'm not looking at you, but like I'm here, you know? Anyways, so we are going to be doing Ritual by Arctic Fox. Also, disregard my mirror. It has been like this since we moved in, and it's a rental, and I'm not paying to fix for it. So, all right. So what is imposter syndrome? So imposter syndrome is, in layman's terms, essentially when you are feeling. Oh, and by the way, I don't have my little thingies. And I'm not going to go look for them either. We're just going to make bad decisions. That's why I said at the beginning of this video that we were going to be making bad decisions. Okay, so imposter syndrome is basically when you have, achieved something, or you're doing something. Typically it happens when you first start a job or first start going to school, or some place where there's going to be a lot of people that are more versed in a topic than you think you are. I don't have an exact definition because I can't now because I'm already involved. Oh no, where'd that little splatter go? That's gonna be a mess for later. Anyways, I hope I have enough left in this bottle. So I have already sort of made errors, but we're here for it. I hope that you're here for it anyway. I'm gonna just focus on certain areas of my head and hope for the best with the others, because what I'm focusing on is what gets seen. So yeah. Okay, that could be fun, dyeing half my hair. That's a bad idea. Anyways, so basically imposter syndrome is where you feel like you don't belong. You're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not enough of what that field has or needs to be considered good in that field. So let me talk about some different types of imposter syndrome, or different variants of imposter syndrome that I have. First and foremost, adult. Am I an adult? I have hair in my mouth. Am I an adult? Like, is this what being an adult is? Like, I know I have adult responsibilities, I have a job, we have rent to pay, I have a child. All these things, in theory, make you an adult. But I don't and haven't ever felt like one. I am currently, still at the ripe old age of 26, terrified of teenagers. Oh no, I'm 27. I'm 27 and I'm terrified. Oh no. Oh no, I'm terrified of teenagers. It's fine, it'll come off. Anyways, yeah, I'm terrified of teenagers, absolutely horrified of them. I'm also afraid of adults. Let me tell you what has sort of brought all this to the forefront of my mind. I work at a hospital, and one day in the cafeteria they were doing some type of, they were doing a thing where they were talking about healthy foods and stuff like that, and I didn't want to go over there because I felt really awkward about going over there. I don't know this person. I know that they work there. I know that they work at the hospital, but they were doing some type of booth where you could get a free LaCroix or a protein, son of a bitch, a free protein thing. And they had little pamphlets to learn more about how to eat healthy and stuff, and because every so often we changed the way we see healthy. Like, remember when it used to be no fat, now it's just healthy fats, and then it was not healthy fats, it's all fats, but no red meat, and then it's no meat at all, and then it's no dairy. You know, every time I turn around, there's a new, you know, popular thing happening. Vegan has been around for a while, and that's like a lifestyle. It's not a diet. I want to make that clear. And living gluten-free is also for health. It's like, you know, people are gluten intolerant. They should not eat gluten. So I'm not trying to say that those are diets. I just want to make that clear really quickly before we keep going. But yeah, I was terrified to go up to him because I didn't feel like I belonged there. Like, I am 27, I'm an adult, and I have been an adult for, you know, many years now. And rather than going up to him and like just dealing with it, I was too afraid because it felt very much to me like a 20 or a 17-year-old going up to an adult because he was taller than me, and I don't know. I suffer from imposter syndrome when with it, you know, being an adult. It's fine. Not really, but it's just a fact of life for me. But that's kind of what brought all this on. That happened like I think 2 weeks ago, and it's just sort of been bothering me that I couldn't just go, like, I didn't, objectively speaking, I didn't really want to go up to him anyway because I wasn't interested in you know, getting a free LaCroix or a protein thing or really looking at his pamphlets because I don't want to be healthy. Like, I want to be healthy, but like I don't want to, you know, diet. But yeah, so that's kind of what brought this on. And the more I got to thinking about it, the more I realized how inferior I feel in all aspects of my life, okay? All aspects. So first and foremost, this is not my only channel. I have another channel in the diamond painting community, and diamond painting is basically a cross between paint by numbers and puzzles. It's where you're taking little bitty tiny diamonds and you're sticking them on the thing where they go, similar to paint by numbers, and or paint by stickers or something like that. So I have had that channel. I've been on YouTube for almost a year now. We're coming rapidly approaching a year, and I have been sort of in the community for quite some time. And every time I think about it, I think about how I don't feel like I belong. And I've been in this community, like I said, for a year now, and I still, to this day, feel like I don't belong. I just don't feel like a YouTuber. So I started referring to myself less as a YouTuber and more as a content creator, because that feels more authentic, because I'm creating content. And even though, you know, objectively speaking, anyone who puts content on YouTube is a YouTuber. Now, whether you're a YouTuber by career, that's a different story. I'm not claiming to be a YouTuber by career, okay? But yeah, so basically I realized that I was experiencing imposter syndrome in that aspect of my life as well. So I talked about that on my diamond painting channel actually, and I got a lot of feedback, people saying that, hey, they have the same feelings. So turns out, like, you know, as one might have expected, I am in fact not alone. It's crazy, right? Crazy. Anyways. But yeah, so the thing is that people don't know that you suffer from imposter syndrome because typically you don't feel like telling anyone, you know, because you're suffering from imposter syndrome. So anyways, so then I got to thinking, well, why is it that I feel like I can do booktube? And I don't. I don't feel like I can do booktube. I don't feel like this is like, I mean, not that it's a bad idea, but I just don't feel like I belong here either. I don't know where I belong. I don't know if I belong. And I think that we can break down those topics because reading is kind of what I'm here for today to talk about. So a couple things I want to talk about when it comes to imposter syndrome and reading. First of all, the debate that is audiobooks actually reading. And the thing is that if you asked me, if you came up to me and you said, hey, I just read this book on audio, I would be like, oh, that's really cool. But like when I read books on audio, I'm like, I didn't really read it. And that is sort of imposter syndrome because Where I accept it from you, I don't accept it from myself. And that is, you know, that goes right into me feeling inferior and me not feeling like I belong, and me feeling like I'm not good enough. And so that's sort of one topic I wanted to touch on. And like, objectively speaking, if you consider reading with your eyes and you read an audiobook, then maybe you might not feel like that. But in my head, I think all taking in of a story, if it's a book anyway, like obviously you can't go watch a TV show and be like, I read this book, you know, but like, I think audiobooks are books basically. Because there's so much that goes into that, because I mean, we could get into a bigger and broader topic about, you know, if you're blind, you can't read with your eyes, you would have to read, you know, Braille or audiobooks. So are they not reading? And the answer is absolutely they're reading. They're of course reading. So that's just, you know, one thing I wanted to touch on when it comes to imposter syndrome. But I think the thing that I have most to say when it comes to imposter syndrome, aside from YouTube, because I feel like I could talk forever about what's it like to be having 2 YouTube channels and feel like an imposter on both. But I won't bore you with that. Instead, we will move on to the next topic, and the topic that I'm more excited, well, not more excited, but more feeling like I have a lot to say about that one, and that is critically reading. Do I have a right to be on BookTube? Do I have a right to be a booktuber if I don't read critically? And reading critically is, okay, so just in case you just happened upon this channel and aren't familiar with any of the terms I've said, reading critically is like where you are less in reading for pleasure, less for enjoyment, right? So you're reading something for enjoyment, like that's like gonna be a book like a thriller or like a romance or, you know, something like that. I don't feel like I belong because first of all, I don't really read classics at all, and I have almost no interest to do so. Yeah, so there's that. And then the other thing is, I don't really feel like I read critically. I feel like I mostly only read for enjoyment or pleasure, and that's a form of reading. But here I am, talking to myself and telling myself how I am not a reader. I am not a critical reader. I'm not good enough to be on BookTube because I tend to lean more towards reading for pleasure. I'm gonna have to buy another bottle of this hair dye here soon. Every so often I will dye my hair this color, so I'm not rushing to go get it though, because, you know, I don't want to go anywhere or do anything, but I'll have it shipped to my house, I think. But yeah, so I don't feel like a critical reader because I'm not a critical reader, and I don't know if that means that I don't have the right to be on BookTube because of it. So I'm currently struggling with like sort of, am I an imposter on BookTube? I mean, I'm not fake, but like, am I a fake booktuber? I know we had that drama a couple years ago on BookTube with the fake reader girls. Am I a fake reader girl? Like, I don't know. I just, you know, it all sort of stems from insecurity and self-doubt within myself, and I can at least recognize that. I can recognize that it's less that people are saying these things to me and more that I'm thinking them in my head. And the thing is with imposter syndrome is nobody has to say anything to you. You will just think them. And then even when people come up to you and be like, hey, you did really good today, or on your video, or hey, I really liked your most recent video, or I really like the ideas that you have, or, you know, complimenting, it does little to sort of change the fact that you feel this way, at least for me and a lot of other people. But yeah, so reading critically is one thing I don't do. And then rating books, oh my god, I could get into a 2 to 3 to 4 day long discussion on rating books. I am certainly struggling to rate books at this time, but all of this and I think the main thing that makes me feel like an imposter here is that I haven't actually been reading all that much. Like in 2020, I read one book all year in 2020. And so I feel like, do I even have a right to be here? And like the answer is yes. There are people who read like 30 books in the year and they're still a booktuber. And why is it that when I read 130 books in 2019 and 1 book in 2020, I consider myself not a reader? Well, if you average the 2 of them, that's 131? That's, oh God, math. It's 65 or 66 books in each year. So if the person who is reading 30 books a year considers themselves a booktuber and I accept it, why wouldn't I accept my average of 60? Like, and the answer to that question is that imposter syndrome. I don't feel like I belong because of those reasons. You know, but am I gonna stop doing booktube because of it? I don't think so. I mean, I've only been here a couple months, so I can't really say for sure that I will or won't, but basically, I just wanted to come on here today and talk about imposter syndrome while I dye my hair, because nothing would be more ironic in my head than dyeing your hair while talking about imposter syndrome. Yeah, so I feel like when I started this video, I felt very heavy, and now I feel not lighter, but I feel like a little lighter because I expressed these concerns, and very likely some of the people watching this are gonna have the same feelings. They're gonna feel like, hey, I don't feel like an adult even though I'm, you know, this age. And people are gonna feel like, well, you know, I kind of struggle with reading on audio versus reading a physical book as well. And I don't know about you guys, but I have been watching a lot of newer booktubers, a lot of the people that I kind of started around the same time as. And there's a couple specifically that I want to mention really quickly. Astrocaramel, Kim Scott reads, Victoria reads sometimes, Kelly H, I don't want to butcher your last name, girl, so I'm not going to say it. But if I consider those people who started around the same time as me booktubers, why wouldn't I consider myself one? And that's kind of the question I want to leave you with right now, because I am almost done dyeing my hair. I'm just going to squeeze what I can out of this bottle and throw it where I can, but that's the question I want to leave you with. If you accept that your friend who read a book via audio as reading a book, why don't you, or specifically me, accept it when I read a book on audio? And if you have a bunch of friends in the community who are readers, why don't you consider yourself a reader even if you've only read 1 book last year? And if you are brand new to booktube and you started a channel and you consider all the other people who started at the same time as you booktubers, why don't you consider yourself a booktuber? And if you are having any of these same feelings as me, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to talk to you about this. I mean, I don't feel like a booktuber. I don't feel like I read critically, and I don't feel like I belong on either of my channels and YouTube in general. But I'm trying, or adult, I don't feel like an adult either, but I'm trying to sort of come to the conclusion that, hey, like, just because of these things, just because you in your head don't feel like that, doesn't mean that that's not the case, because there are people that would consider me a booktuber, and there are people that would consider me a YouTuber because I have had a successful channel for over a year now in another community, or almost a year now in the other community. And I mean, a reader by definition is someone who reads, so why wouldn't I consider myself a reader? And if I can critique at least one thing of a book, why am I not considering myself a critical reader? And the answer is, I don't know. But I leave you with these questions, and let me know in the comments down below. And I don't know how to stop this because there's dye on my hands, so I'm gonna let it roll. Okay, so that is going to be it for today's video. I thought about sort of letting it rinse out of my hair and seeing what it looks like when I'm done, but I don't have time for that. I'm going live on my other channel in a couple minutes, well, in 2.5 hours. So I have 2.5 hours to let this sit and wash it out. And, you know, every time you dye your hair, you know, it's going to be an hour-long process to get it out. So I'm going to clean up this mess in the bathroom because there's hair dye everywhere. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the ironicness of this video. The fact that I'm dyeing my hair and talking about imposter syndrome, feeling like I don't belong, and then changing a physical thing about me. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like me and would like to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I would be so happy to have you. Alright, I hope that you are being safe, washing your hands, taking care of, yes, I did break it now. Being safe, washing your hands, taking care of yourselves. Bye, guys.